Hi, my name is Megan Campbell and I'm the co-director of EWB's Water and Sanitation team in Malawi, and I want to take you through some of the exciting things we've been doing in Malawi this past year. So this is Mr. Sangola, and he's the district water officer in Mulanje district, which is in the south of the country. And he's responsible for making sure that the 520 villages in his district have access to water and sanitation infrastructure. And he's not doing that on his own. There are a lot of NGOs and organizations that are helping him install new water points and support communities to build new latrines. But providing new infrastructure isn't going to solve the problem. In Mulanje, there are a lot of water points that aren't working, and the ones that are working are not necessarily in the villages that need them the most. And when latrines are built, the communities don't always use them, and they're certainly not continuously improving them. So that's the problem we work on, and it's a really big one. Essentially, we're saying we want the entire water and sanitation sector across the country of Malawi to move from focusing on projects that just focus on initial infrastructure to developing responsive, effective, ongoing systems that can actually ensure sustainable water and sanitation services for the entire country. We want districts to be able to do that without depending on NGO resources long term. We call that a service delivery model. And in the last year, our team has become the champion of service delivery model development in Malawi. And so we work with people like Mr. Sangola to figure out the systems, skills, and approaches that he needs to use in order to be able to ensure that there's sustainable water and sanitation service in his district. Mr. Sangola needs to be able to play his role as a service delivery provider, but he also needs to coordinate and influence other aspects of local government, the private sector, and communities themselves. We work directly with him to help him figure out how to do that. We look at the whole complex system that exists in a district, and we find surgical, high-leverage points where we can support transformative action. One great example of this is our work on monitoring and evaluation systems. So any district officer that wants to be able to actually provide a service needs up-to-date and relevant information about what actually exists on the ground. But most monitoring systems are too complex or too expensive for district officers to use and update on their own. We've been working with district officers to develop monitoring systems that they actually can use, and we're starting to see really concrete successes from this. So for example, we're so excited that this year one of the district water officers we worked with in Chikwawa district used the monitoring system we developed with him to site 20 new boreholes and make better decisions about where they went. Our work with districts is the core of our program, but we don't actually think it's enough. What's possible at a district is massively affected by external factors that originate from the national level in Malawi, and so we work there too to create change. In our previous example, even if Mr. Sangola is using a monitoring system, if he's transferred or if his operational budget goes down, then the district is back at the beginning. The change has been embedded in the individual, but not within the system. A solution to that could be a national M&E system that's nationally mandated and supported. But for that to actually affect real change at the district, it needs to be based on the needs of the end user, who is Mr. Sangola. And to do that, get that design right, it's expensive, it's difficult to do, and it takes incredibly deep insight about what the end user, Mr. Sangola, actually needs and can do. We're basically one of the only organizations in Malawi that's investing both the time and energy to develop those insights at the district level, and gain the credibility at the national level to be able to influence so that we see systemic change. So we play a totally unique and immensely valuable role bridging this knowledge gap so that the policies and support from the national level actually drive positive change at the district level. But we also recognize that we're not going to see anywhere near the level of impact that we want to if we're the only ones who change our behavior. So that's why we work with key partners from throughout the Malawi water and sanitation sector, and we essentially work with them so that they're investing in different areas, they're learning better, and they're changing their behavior and their interaction with districts so it's overall positive for local government structures. It's an incredibly ambitious change goal, it's incredibly complex, but we're starting to gain the credibility in Malawi, and even in the international stage as one of the few organizations in the world that can actually do this kind of work. So to summarize, we're strengthening partnerships, we're building skills, we're dispelling myths, and we're aiming for massive change in the way an entire sector operates and learns. And we're not just doing this for monitoring and evaluation, but across a number of high leverage points that will actually mean that local government can provide effective long-term service with their very limited resources. So we're doing everything from developing new schemes for financing operation and maintenance of water points to changing the way that field staff are managed so that they're continuously supporting communities to update their sanitation infrastructure. We are incredibly excited about our team, about the progress we've made in the last year, and all of the things we're learning. And so this is us. You should look out for new materials coming from us before conference, and we hope to see you there.